Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the situation report or the summary for the day of 1311 for the 26th of September. We're going to start off as usual over at the Sumi front. I think this one was not updated. So over at the Sumi front, we have no fighting being reported because the Russian Defense Ministry reported weekly summary, so there's no reports. But what we do have is the Russians' announcement of the capture of Yunakivka. So they declared the capture of Yunakivka. Tentatively, I think we have just some streets here. This one more street that is still missing tentatively on our mapping. And the Ukrainian forces have expanded the zone of control. So I think I need to, whoops. Okay, so yeah, I need to adjust my mouse a bit. So this is declared captured, and the Ukrainian forces are, according to I reported this during the Frontline changes report, that they have taken some grounds northeast of Kindrativka. Otherwise, that's it from the Sumi front. We go on to the Kharkiv front. Over the Kharkiv front, we have only Voschansk being mentioned. There's fighting reported over here according to the Ukrainians. Otherwise, that's all from the reporting for this part. Over at the Voreshna front, so over along the border at the Milove sector, we have fighting reported at Milove. Fighting is reported at Odradny with the Russian source Riba announcing the geolocation related fighting. Then we have fighting reported at Nyamka. So that's all from this sector. The rest of the Voreshna front, there is fighting reported at Doroshevka. Yeah, so Doroshevka is already declared captured by the Russians since April. So yeah, so that's all. Kupiansk front is very quiet. There is no mention of Kupiansk. Very suspicious. But we do have is fighting reported at Stepova, Novoselivka, and Pischani. So, so that's all from the Kupiansk front. Further south to the Borova front, we only have fighting reported at Bohoslavka. So this is pretty much a routine, nothing special about this. Over at the Oskil Liman front, further south, there's a lot more actions happening around this sector here. Fighting is reported at Kharkivka, Novy Maya, Karpivka, Zelena Dolena, Shandriholove, Darilove, Koloziazi, Zarishne, and Torske. So the main push tentatively is still mainly towards Novoselivka, is still in this sector here. And yeah, so the rest of the fighting in this sector here, I don't think these are no significant. And as usual, the pincer on Stavki is probably still ongoing. Moving further south to the Liman Siversk front. So this is Liman. Over the Liman Siversk front, we have fighting reported at Torske, Yampil, Dronevka. At Serbianka region, there is a geolocation showing Russian forces pushing in the direction of Dronevka. Fighting is reported at Hrihorevka, Vimka, and Berezne. So this action here, this push, is still the same. In terms of a strategic big arrow movement, we have to push through the Siversk forestry towards Liman, as well as these northern flanking operations north of Siversk. So this is still ongoing, but we have the geolocation to confirm that this actually is advancing. So the Russians are making a lot of progress in the north of Siversk. Looks like the northern flank defense line has entirely broken down. You can see the defense line was here. Russian forces already broke through in two different sectors here. So the looks like things have disintegrated in this sector here. It's very hard to say where the Ukrainians will be able to hold the next line of defense. So we will definitely have to watch this very carefully. Moving into the Bakhmut front, there's no reports. We go on to the Konstantinivka front. This is Konstantinivka. At this front line, fighting is reported as Tupochki, Alexandrov-Chutine, Plishevka, Klebanbik, Shkebenivka, Rusinya, and Petavka. Sorry for the arrow it's a bit ugly because my mouse have a cable. You can see the cable. Yeah, the cable is a bit heavy, and because I didn't charge my I used up all the battery, so I have to charge the cable. So yeah, now so my arrows are looking a bit uglier because I'm getting held back. I blame Russia. So anyway, geolocation of the Ukrainian tank as well as a Russian airstrike was geolocated in Konstantinivka as the pressure continues to mount. The main action remains largely the same. There is this pincer towards Konstantinivka. There's a consolidation of this Thorax salient by the Russians. And there is this pinning operation, I guess. I'm not sure if the Russians are actually trying to push. Might be a pinning operation to draw Ukrainians in this sector here. The lack of updates led me to this perception. So that's the Konstantinivka front. And most of this reporting is coming only from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, since as I said, the Russians do not have a report. We move to the Evil Rabbit front, or the Pokrov breakout zone. So there is fighting reported over at Sofievka, Shakove, Volodymyrivka, Nikhanorivka, Rodinsky, Shevrin Liman, and yeah. So this operation remains largely the same as I mentioned before. This is the Russian obsession for now at this moment and around this sector as they try to capture the whole line of settlements here, and then the northern flanking operations north of Myrnohrad. So that's the main gist around at Konstantinivka. Over in the rest of the Pokrov front, as we push all these arrows up, so we have the Ukrainians acknowledging that the Russians are now at Balahan. So the fighting at Myrnohrad and Balahan is noted. Geolocation confirming the Russians continue to push seriously on the eastern part of Myrnohrad. Fighting is reported at Lysivka, Pokrov, Vivrove, Kotliny, and Udashny. This sector here, I think, is largely, pretty static. It's not exactly where the main push is. So that's the situation in the Pokrov front. We go on to the next front line, the Komar front. So over the Komar front, we have fighting reported at Orikove, Dashne, Filia, Alexandrivka, Kletsove, also known as Iskra, Shifneve, Sosnevka, Komishuvacha, Berezove, and Kalinivsky. So at Kalinivsky, we have some frontline changes as well as north of Berezove. I mentioned this in the frontline changes report. I'm not going to repeat in detail again. Geolocation of Russian airstrike on Harilivka is noted. Otherwise, yeah, the main push remains largely the same. Is focusing in the southern flank of Komar, pushing west, and that's mainly it. There is a potential push at Horikove, so that is trying to close this area, but not sure because any push through Horikove is going into Dnipropetrovsk, and taking the Dnipropetrovsk region in this sector here may not be very useful, since the Russians doesn't seem to be interested in conquering the Dnipropetrovsk region for now. The operation in this South Komar front is actually related to the operation to conquer the rest of the Zaporizhia front. So that's the reason why they are pushing in that sector. At the Kuyapole sector of the Zaporizhia front, fighting is reported at Krychorivka, Novoivanivka, Novovasilivsky, Novomykolaivka, Ohivsky, Shifneve, and Petrovka, with a major frontline change in the east of Petrovka. So there's also frontline changes noted around here. So that is the main gist. This is similar situation with the Russians pushing, in this direction, same as the Koma front region. And then there's this push towards Petrovka. So that's the main idea. They're trying to take Petrovka. Just a side note is that this Novovasilivsky on the Ukrainian report, they say Novovasilivka. There is no Novovasilivka in this region, so I believe it might be a typo. So that's the only thing I want to say. And we go on to the rest of the Zaporizhia fronts. There's nothing over the Orikhiv sector, over the Kayamsky sector. Fighting is reported at Kayamsky as well as Stepnohursk. This continue to confirm our main hypothesis that the Russians are trying to push along the river up north towards Zaporizhia city. And we go on to the last front line, the Kherson front. And the Russians are reportedly attacking towards the Antonovsky Bridge, according to the Ukrainians. A grand total of 4 attacks was being mentioned across the reports, but no, the Ukrainians say it's not successful. So that's all for the summary. So these are all the reports. Happy birthday to you if your birthday today. So this is the summary for the day of 1311 for the 26th of September. Press the like button, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next update.